Have you ever stopped to think about the reason for being who you are? About the deepest traits of your identity? The question of sexual orientation goes far beyond preferences and superficial likes. It touches the most sensitive parts of our essence. From the moment society puts labels, expectations, and ideas on us about what we should be, the process of self-discovery becomes a true labyrinth. And when this self-discovery includes understanding one's own homosexuality, the layers of this issue can be even more complex. Today we will dive deep into the possible causes and influences that shape sexual orientation, especially regarding homosexuality. Through 10 intriguing and deeply informative topics, we will shed light on this issue in a way that you may never have thought of before. By the end, my intention is for you to feel even more at peace with who you are, understanding yourself in a broader way. If at any point you've questioned the origin of your orientation, or if you've gone through something that impacted your self-acceptance, share it in the comments. Your story may help others find themselves on this same journey. Topic 1. Genetics and biology. The first layer of this issue involves something we often don't even notice, but that deeply influences who we are: our genetics. Science has already shown that innate characteristics can play a role in sexual orientation. Certain studies indicate that homosexual people may have specific genetic variations that, in some way, help define sexual orientation. These studies suggest that biological factors do not fully determine it, but open the door to this possibility. Imagine how it would feel to know that part of who you are may be a legacy passed down through generations. This idea that orientation could be a mix of genes and environment may make many people feel less alone in their journey of self-discovery. Topic 2. Neuroscience and brain development. Neuroscience offers a fascinating perspective on how sexual orientation can be shaped even before birth. Through studies with animals and observations in humans, it was discovered that hormone levels in the womb can influence brain development in ways that later affect sexual behavior. In particular, one theory suggests that exposure to specific levels of testosterone during pregnancy could play a role in developing sexual orientation. This implies that our brain is pre-programmed in a way that manifests in our sexual preferences without us having control over it. And what does this mean for those who identify as gay or lesbian? It means that they may be born with predispositions that go beyond conscious choice, challenging the idea that sexuality is something that can be changed or cured. Topic 3. Environmental influences in childhood. Childhood is a crucial period for the development of our identity, and many people seek to understand if events from that phase could impact sexual orientation. Some studies suggest that the way we are treated, family dynamics, and even specific experiences can influence our sexuality. Although not a determining factor, these experiences can affect the way we perceive ourselves in the world. You've probably heard someone say, "This happened because you had a tough childhood," or "Maybe it was abuse or trauma." While these factors don't determine sexual orientation, they can create emotional blockages or confusion about who we are. This connects to a central idea. Our identity is shaped not only by what we feel, but also by what we experience in the environment around us. Topic 4. The impact of parental relationships and gender models. From a very young age, we are taught to view the world in binary terms, with rigid gender roles shaping how children interact with their parents and caregivers. The way parents handle their children can, in fact, influence the development of sexual identity. Children who grow up in environments where parents have different expectations or offer non-conventional gender models may develop a more flexible and broader view of sexuality. This topic goes beyond direct influence, pointing to the complexity of identity formation in the family environment. For example, parents who encourage emotional expressiveness and accept the freedom of gender identity choices tend to create a safe space for their children to explore their sexuality more naturally and without external pressures. If these topics are helping you dive deeper into reflection, don't forget to comment below. I'd love to know how these themes connect with your personal experience, and your story might be the starting point for others to feel more secure and confident. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone you think might benefit from a deeper discussion on these topics. Topic 5. The role of heredity in sexual orientation. Genetics has been a fundamental area of study to understand human sexuality. Although there isn't a definitive consensus on the role of genes in sexual orientation, twin studies indicate that heredity may influence sexuality. This suggests that genetics could be a significant factor, in addition to environmental or social influences. These studies show that, while the environment plays a role, the genetic factor could predispose some people to develop a homosexual sexual orientation. This doesn't mean genetics is the only explanation, but it's a relevant factor that can't be ignored. After all, Each individual's DNA is unique, and it can affect how a person perceives and experiences sexual desire throughout life. Topic 6. The impact of hormones during gestation. One of the most intriguing theories about the origin of sexual orientation is the hormonal theory. It suggests that the levels of hormones to which a fetus is exposed in the womb can influence whether they will be heterosexual or homosexual. Study after study has pointed out that the hormonal environment during gestation can affect the individual's sexuality. Excessive or insufficient exposure to certain hormones during fetal development can subtly but powerfully alter the brain in ways that only become evident later in adulthood. This theory is based on the fact that male and female fetuses' brains develop differently due to variations in testosterone and other sex hormones during pregnancy. What does this mean for a gay or lesbian person? That they may have been born with a biological predisposition for their sexual orientation. Topic 7. Sexual behavior and social influence. Although many try to assert that sexual orientation is determined only by biology, the truth is that our sexuality is influenced by a variety of factors, including the social environment. The way society views sexuality can shape how we see ourselves and how we choose to behave. Homophobia, for example, can lead many people to suppress their feelings and desires, causing their sexual identity to be revealed later in life. The social environment can also influence whether a person feels the need to come out or hide their sexuality. Often, this has to do with the fear of rejection or the negative consequences that may occur when being authentic. This external pressure can create a significant internal conflict, leading a person to question why they feel what they feel and whether it's possible to change. If you found this interesting so far and have identified with something, feel free to leave your comment below. How do you deal with external influences when it comes to your sexuality? We're all on a unique journey, and sharing these experiences is the best way to learn and grow. Don't forget to like the video and share it with anyone you think could benefit from a deeper discussion on the topic of human sexuality. Topic 8. The influence of trauma and life experiences on sexuality. A person's life experience, especially any traumas they may have experienced, can influence how they relate to their sexuality. For many people, sexual orientation is not a choice, but an intrinsic part of their identity that unfolds over time. This may include how someone handles past traumatic experiences such as abuse or social rejection. For instance, individuals who have experienced abuse may have difficulty understanding and accepting their sexuality, especially if the abuse was of a sexual nature. This can lead to internal confusion, where the individual tries to deny or suppress their feelings. However, it's important to understand that sexuality is not determined solely by these experiences, but they can play a significant role in how a person views themselves and their sexual identity. Topic 9. The role of psychology in understanding homosexuality. Psychology also plays a fundamental role in how we understand human sexuality. The way people interpret and deal with their desires and feelings can be influenced by their mental health, environment, and life experiences. Psychology helps explain how homosexuality can be seen both as a natural expression of who we are and as an aspect that may be influenced by emotional and psychological factors. Moreover, therapies such as acceptance and commitment therapy, along with other psychological approaches, can be extremely helpful for those struggling with accepting their sexuality. These therapies don't aim to change sexual orientation, but rather to help individuals understand their feelings and find peace with their identity. Topic 10. Homosexuality and the search for acceptance. Lastly, the quest for acceptance is an essential part of any LGBTQ+ person's journey. Understanding why we are the way we are and embracing our identity is a profound and sometimes painful process. Many face pressure from society, family, and even themselves to conform to a heterosexual standard. For those who are gay, lesbian, or have other sexual orientations, the journey toward internal acceptance can be long and filled with challenges, but it is also a necessary path to finding true freedom and happiness. Accepting one's sexual identity, especially in a society that is not always receptive, is a crucial step in achieving emotional fulfillment. The journey to understanding oneself is one of the most important paths a person can take, and it requires courage, understanding, and most importantly, self-compassion. Now that you have a deeper understanding of what truly influences a person's sexuality, it's time to reflect. What has been the biggest obstacle you've had to overcome in accepting your identity? Leave your experience in the comments and share your journey with those who are going through something similar. The exchange of stories and mutual support is vital for all of us. Remember, you are not alone.